Waka waka waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch Transformers review, third-party Transformers review, and we got Fans Toys in the house as we're going to be taking a look at the FT-32A Gehry, which I believe is the right way to pronounce it, and of course this is going to be the first entry into their Constructicon set, which I guess is a new old kind of thing. You can let me know in the comments. The design's been around, but they just have started implementing it now, and this is of course their take on the team leader Scrapper, and we're going to be taking a deep, in-depth look at him today. But first, we're going to take a quick spin of the box. I did do a full-on lengthy unboxing. I'll put a link in the description down below. You could watch that. Please watch that because I go through all the little booklets and stuff. I'm just going to spin the box around here, talk a little bit about it, and then we're going to get right on to Mr. Gehry right here. It feels so weird calling him Gehry. It's like a normal name. All right, and there of course we have the animation of Mr. Gehry, aka Scrapper, in his front end loader mode, in his robot mode. Looks really good. Got Gehry at the top, FT-32A, Fans Toys 2024. You have Gehry on the side. You have Gehry on the other side. You have Mr. Gehry on top, and you can click in for the Fans Toys instructions if you don't want to watch my own. And then of course on the back you have his description. You can pause right now and read it. You have all the little shots of everything this guy does, and then on the bottom you of course have another shot of Gehry in his front end loader mode. That's pretty much it for the bumblebee, but whatever. Anyway, so let's talk about the robot. In Australia, he's a chunky boy. This guy's got a lot going on in the hardware department. He feels beefy, he feels big, feels really well built, and I knew that was coming with the figure. I knew the paint was coming with this figure. The paint is just glorious. You can just see, yeah, you can see the glow coming off of the neon green, and you know, this kind of owes itself to its G1 color palette. The Constructicons were just one of those bots with funky coloring, and Fans Toys always just knocks that out of the park. We'll look at the head real quick. You can see got a nice deep red for the eyes, a nice just kind of stoic gray. They use some very muted colors on the head. It looks really good, really makes his eyes pop. You can really see the purple kind of glow on the chest. This purple is just divine, and I feel bad for everybody that was kind of turned away on the preliminary shots of this guy where it showed kind of more a brighter color here, because yeah, to miss out on this purple is just it's divine. They really incorporated the G1 details nicely too. Again, it's not super detailed, but just enough. You can see he's painted nice and beautifully. Adds to just the kind of whole clashing of the color palette here. I really dig it. Same thing, I love how these side skirts or these front skirts were done. I think that is absolutely gorgeous. You got a little bit of a kind of pearlescent-ish. It's a really nice metallic lighter gray for the upper legs. Looks incredibly good. And then you got more green on the legs. One thing, he is kind of panelly in the arm area, in the lower arm area, in the leg area, because there's a lot of transformation going on. There is some gaps in the bottom of the feet for transformation reasons, so that may turn some people off. I'm okay with it because, quite frankly, I think it adds to the robot feel. Same thing with the back. You'll see he's got a whole lot of junk on his back. It's just all kind of padded in there, and again, you can see it's just like it just hangs out there. But for me personally, I'm okay with it because, again, I think it adds more to the robot feel. Also, you can see a lot of the screws, again, very covered up, not a lot of visible hardware on this guy. So again, yes, he may come off as messy, but I think the presentation is overall pretty gorgeous. Yeah, just very killer on that front. We'll talk about his articulation. There's quite a bit to say here. So the head will swivel all the way around. You can get it going up. That's pretty far, and then you can get it going down just a bit, but you can engage your transformation joint and go all the way down, get like kind of a look like that, which is good for some photo opportunities. The arm is on a swivel. It'll rotate all the way around. Nice. It rotates like butter. Move it all the way out just like that, and then of course you got a swivel at the bicep. Really, really nice. The elbows are a bit tight, but you can get the full on. Yeah. The wrist do swivel, and of course he does have individually articulated fingers. Base hinge at the knuckle, then a secondary hinge, and the thumb is on a base hinge and a ball joint. Move the arms up because he does have an extremely limited waist swivel. You can move him down because, check this out, I was wrong in one of the previous videos I did. So he does have an ab crunch. You got to engage the combiner joint. You got to really grab down here in his gentleman's area, but one click, two click, and it is a very beefy click, and this might be a little bit, you really got to kind of grab on here to kind of bring it back. But, so he does kind of get you a solid ab crunch. Move the skirt up. He can get you a fusion kick and then some. He cannot get you a fusion back kick. And the way the legs work, you got to move them down at this hinge right here. And then you kind of move them up and you can get a fusion side kick like that. Bring this down. Lots of, I got just about 90 at the knee, maybe a little bit over, and you can see some detail in there. That's really nicely done. Bring that down. You do have a toe tilt down just like that. Dino Canada, you got a heel tilt as well, and you got basically, you got some kind of weird swivel for days on the ankle. And that's pretty much it for his articulation. Quite a few surprises there. We'll talk about his accessories next. He does come with quite a few of those. So the first thing he comes with is his rifle. And of course, this is painted in that nice kind of tuxedo black. Got the nice metallic look on there. Very overall G1 undetailed, though I do quite like a lot of the molded details it has in here. You got the little red dot sight down here. You got like this kind of little, these kind of divots right here. It looks really good. And then you do got two tabs right there on the handle, and they'll just tab right to his hand just like that. He holds that quite firmly. He'll hold that for days. Next up, and this is superb. So I think Fans Toys is the only Masterpiece company to do this, to give you the trumpet. That's right, from Starscream's coordination. It is quite a weighty accessory. This, in my opinion, is one of like the best accessories ever for a character, just because of how well done it is. You can see it's done in a very nice metallic gold. It does have like a metal feel to it, so I believe this is die cast. Now, unfortunately, if you saw my unboxing, mine did arrive with one of the little valves broken off. I didn't find it in the box. I assume it was a breakage at the factory. I did try reaching out to the Chosen Prime where I bought it from. They have not replied to me yet. I'm assuming service at Fans Toys, but I'm really not certain if I'm that bugged by this to go through all the effort. So, but either way, I'm still happy with it. It does look pretty good. And of course, that does have two tabs right on here, and you can just kind of put that in his free palm. Now, this doesn't like to tab in all that firmly. In fact, I found myself having to correct it several times in my short. But again, once you get into a position, it'll hold in well enough. You can see right now it's kind of behaving. So that's good. Thank you for behaving during the review. And lastly but not least, he does come with this monstrosity. We're going to be using this over and over for the entirety of the review. And this is mainly for combined mode, but you do have options to place it all over in his robot mode. You can see it articulates this, articulates around here. It's kind of tight right at this base joint, but for this particular mode, we're just going to leave it just like this. You can see this piece kind of articulates right here. You got this little ledge, and he can actually wear this in robot mode. So what you want to do is you want to open this up, and you can see you got a little kind of notch here, and all you're going to do is you're just going to put this little latch here on this notch, and you can just close this. I believe you can get his little plate here around just like that. And, yeah, he could wear it just like it. And he gets a little bulky. I do gotta say, this is die cast right here. Like, it's gonna hold up the whole combiner. So this thing is die cast. So it is, it's quite beefy. I'm never gonna use this outside combined mode. This just makes it way too bulky in robot mode. He doesn't look any better in vehicle mode. We'll get to that, but either way. And that's pretty much it for all of his accessories. And one final thing I want to go over in the robot mode is, you can kind of give him an alternate look. You can give him the, big shovel backpack if you so desire, which I kind of prefer. It's a bit more filled out version of the shovel, and this isn't really gone over in any of the instructions. It's just something like kind of a fan thing you can do just by the nature of his transformation. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of bring this up just like this, and you can kind of fold out his little front cowl here, and then we can kind of start. You want to, first off, you're going to pull open right here at the shovel. Just kind of pull these apart, and as you're doing that, you can see the shovel rides on these hinges right here. You just kind of want to bring them up, and that'll start kind of separating the shovel. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of pull out, and you want to make sure you want to pull down. You got these kind of pylons right in here. You're going to pull down on those. Make sure that everything is out of your way. And we can start pulling open the shovel, and as we're doing that, we'll start pulling open on everything. There we go. Got that open right there. Same thing for the other side. There we go. Got that open just like that. And what we're going to do is, as we can see that these shovel pieces ride on here. So what we're going to do is you're going to kind of bring these up just like this and just kind of set them out. And you can see it's going to lock right into a tab right on here, just like that. And then it will also, this went down, it'll also lock in right here. Same thing for the other side, just gonna bring it down right on this rail right here. And what you can do is you can actually kind of bring this out just like this on that hinge right there. Kind of help that along. And we'll get that into its little tab home right there. Just like that, and you could put this right up here if you so desire. And then what we can do is these will just kind of hang out. You can just kind of bring those in. Oop, oop, oop. Bring that in just like that. And bring this piece right here back up. And there you go. So you can definitely give him his big shovel backpack look. It does make him a little bit heavier. I'm actually probably going to display him this way. This is how I kind of remember Scrapper, with a big shovel hanging off his backpack. And you can see he also kind of takes a little bit of the kibble off the back, especially if you put this piece up in there, which you can't really see anymore. But just kind of a little alternate fan mode if you so desire in his robot mode. And we'll do a couple quick comparisons before we move on. So first, we'll get him in there with a Takara Decepticon. We'll get him in there with a MP-52 Starscream. And we'll make Starscream stand a bit taller, but you can see he just towers over MP-52. And that's how he looks next to a standard Takara bot. Next, we'll get him in there with another leg bot from Ocular Max. And yes, we know Ocular Max does their own thing with their scale, but there he is with Fraudo, aka Swindle. And yeah, Swindle's basically a runt in front of him too. And lastly but not leastly, we will get him in there with the, I guess, reigning champion Devastator that has been currently out, the Toy World Shovel, who actually does kind of stand a chance next to revisiting Shovel just a little bit. But yeah, you can see just kind of how they look together. Shovel definitely has the big shovel look that you can give to this guy. That's kind of what I kind of like with this guy. And you can get him look from behind as well, and just kind of spin him all the way around. And if you want a measurement, we'll get out the FC Finch scale. He's about 9.5 inches tall, just shy to the top of his head. And that's pretty much it for our comparisons. All right, it is time to get Mr. Gehry transforming up into his first alternate mode. We're going to go into his combined mode first, his leg mode. Now, if you've watched the Fans Toys tutorial, they actually do the tractor mode first, then they do the leg mode, and they go back to robot mode for both of them. That is because pretty much you have to do most of the transformation to get to either mode, but we're going to go to combined mode first because you have to undo a little bit less, and plus you already got the shovel formed by that point. So what we want to do is we're going to untab his head from back here. You can just see it tabs in right there. Then what we want to do is you got to open this front chest panel right here. Now mine is like, she's solid, man. She ain't going nowhere. You're going to bring this out just like this, and then you're going to bring the head back on this hinge right here. I want to make sure the head is nice and straight because this has like no clearance right here. And then you're just going to close this back up just like that and put that in. You want to bring the, first off, you don't want to bring the arm out there. You want to get in here with your spudger, and you're just going to kind of bring up these locks just like this. Once you open it up, it should go pretty quietly, but it's a bit of a pain for me to get started. Bring the arm out just like this, and then what you want to do is you want to come back here. You're going to open up this panel just like this. Make sure the hands are in fist and rotate them right in like that. And you can see a little slot right here. It's just going to line up with a tab just like this. Bring that down. That closes nice and flush just like that. And then you're going to bring this arm around just like this. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to do that off camera. We're going to get the camera situated. All right, so now we have them laying down like this. And what we're going to start doing is we're going to kind of open up this panel here, just kind of unlock everything and kind of move this out. We can kind of take this panel and just bring it back. Just kind of rides on a hinge right here. Just kind of bring it all the way back as far as you can. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to start bringing everything out. We want to start separating the shovel as well. Just kind of bring everything out because that'll start bringing everything out here. You can see it all kind of want to push out especially on these two pieces right in here. So you just kind of want to, there we go. It's kind of a bit tight. There we go. And so you see those two pieces are pushed out. And now we're just going to bring this all the way out just like this. Oop, oop, oop. Right now, two separate hinges here. So now this is all out just like this. Next, what we're going to do, we can bring this up. We can bring this piece out right here and just kind of leave it out to the side. And we'll start forming the shovel just as we did when we were going to that alternate robot mode. So you want to push forward on these little pins right here. And as this is coming out, you can see it locks in right along here. Just like that, and you have kind of a little connection right in here. Same thing for the other side. Just gonna bring the push forward, just kind of lock it in on these tabs right here. There we go. There we go, just lock it in just like that. And then on either side, you have these little plates right here. I'm gonna use a spudger because these never seem to want to come out for me when I do that. Just always a lot going on in the shovel area. Same thing for the other side. Just kind of bring these out just like this. And you can open this up just like that. And the last thing I want to do is, I'm not sure how much this really matters. These are made of some durable plastic, but I don't think they're going to offer anything in terms of combiner stability. I think it's just to keep up the aesthetic, but you want to push these down. That's per the Fans Toys instructions, but you can do whatever you want. And we're just going to leave this just like this for now. Make sure to bring everything out as far as you can. And next, what we want to do is we're going to start opening this up. Oh, one step I did forget is you do want to make sure that these hinges right here go towards the inside. So just kind of coordinate everything just like that. There we go. Now that's done. So now open this up and you can just kind of pull forward and you can see you got this whole contraption coming out. You can see his head in there. I don't know. And you got a tab right here. It's going to go into this slot right here and just kind of lock in just like that. Then after you're done, you can close this up just like this. And you can leave this up. What we're going to do next is we're going to kind of untab. You got to kind of pull out on the canopy. It is a little bit of pulling plastic over plastic, I must report. And just kind of pull that out. It just locks in on these two tabs right here. And we're just going to temporarily pull these wheels out just like this. Just kind of pull it out. They're on this little, like, it's kind of on a hinge deep within his belly. These are like solid die-cast pieces. So no worries about having to break these at all. And what we're going to do is you do have a little panel right in here. You may need a spudger to get it out. There we go. Now you can see this thing just comes out on this right here. And then we can put the little front end loader wheels back in just how we found them. Just kind of rotate them back up on this hinge and just kind of shove them back in their home. And what you're going to do is you're going to bring this up just like this. You're going to lock the canopy right back in. Again, a little bit more. Oh, it locked in on the other. So once it locks in on one side, it typically locks in on the other side. And then you just kind of want to bring this down. And I just kind of lock it in right between those two tabs here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to push this down like this. And you're just going to kind of bring it down and just set it there just like that. It's just going to cover everything. It's not a dead solid connection. And then what we're going to do is you're going to kind of put him in a Superman pose, bring his arms up like this, and then you got this little hinge right here. You're just going to break, not literally, and rotate these up just like this. Same thing for the other side. Just kind of break and just kind of bring these up, situate them just like this. And actually, I think we're going to leave this out of the way for later. And then what we want to do next is we're going to kind of bring up the shovel. And this is why I kind of left it in pieces, because what we're going to do here is you got these two posts right here. They're going to go into the posts right on each arm. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of line it up. And you just got to, it's not the best feeling in the world. And there we go, got one locked in on this side, and then we could just lock this in on this side as well. And then what we can do is we can kind of start completing the shovel. You're going to lock it in on these tabs right here. Same thing for the other side. Just going to kind of bring this in and lock this in right here. So right now, this is pretty much solid, and we'll work on the legs next. So let's get in on the legs. The first thing we want to do is we're going to push in at this little, at the hip right here. You can see that that just kind of slides in and out, and it's a nice firm slide. Next, what we want to do is we're going to work on the foot real quick, and we're going to bring this piece down right here. We're going to rotate at this hinge right along here, bring that up. We're going to rotate the foot right here, and then we're going to rotate at this hinge right here. So the foot, we want it looking like that. And the last step for the foot is we're going to take the heel. It's going to rotate all the way around just like this and kind of just lightly snap in right there. Next, we can, we're going to untab the wheel, and it's just this tabs in right on 2 slots right along here. We can open up this panel, and we can just kind of open up this whole panel just like this. We're going to open this panel, and you can see it has a hinge right here, and they got a hinge right here, and you're just going to fold these all the way over, get that out of our way for now. Just kind of leave it like that. Next, what we want to do, make sure this is open, is you're going to rotate the wheel at this hinge right here. And you just kind of want to rotate for it at this little hinge right here. And bring it in like that. And then just kind of rotate the wheel down so it fits into this little slot right here. Now, the next step, we're going to make sure this is all the way open as you can get. In fact, close to get this out of the way. Make sure this is as open as you can get it. We're going to rotate the lower leg around this hinge here. Make sure to not bend the knee. If you bend the knee at all, make sure to unbend it. And just kind of bring it out. This is why we need all that clearance. And it's just going to kind of go over. There we go. And then we got to bend back the knee a little bit. And now we can kind of make sure that the wheel is all the way over. We can kind of bring this panel up on this hinge and just close everything up. Make sure everything is closed because the wheel will not go in otherwise. And now we could start locking everything in. And lock everything in, and then what we want to do for the last step is we can rotate this over, bring this down so it fits right over the slot, and then it's going to tab in just like this right along here and lock in like that. And that is one side all the way done. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and we'll be right back. And you're just going to close up the legs. You got a whole bunch of, you got 4 ports, and they're just going to lock in just like that. And that is pretty much it. Oop, there we go. Got to adjust the ab crunch a little bit. And that is pretty much it for the main body. So now we're going to set Mr. Gehry off to the side. We're going to get this prepped. So what we want to do is you're just going to push this in like that. You're going to bring out this, it moves on this base hinge right in here. And you're just going to kind of bring it out and forward just like that. And next up, you can bring this out on this hinge like that. Now, the way that I found to do this is you're going to snake the front shovel through the front here. And this is basically, you have these 2 little slots, they're going to cup right over these attachments here. You have these 2 ports that are going to go right into here, and then this slot is just going to kind of make everything cohesive, and that slot is located right here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of snake this in just like this. And then we can bring this up. Oh. Make sure to not untab anything. And that slot's going to lock in there. And then what we want to do is we just kind of want to bring this up right here. And it's just going to kind of go over those 2 little locks and just kind of make this all cohesive. And lastly, what we want to do is you can just adjust these little hinges right here. And we can kind of fit. Same thing with the other side. Just kind of adjust. You can kind of fit this. Oop. Got unslotted. There we go. There we go. Okay, and now we can bring this up just like that, and just like that, and there we go. And then we could lock it in, and that'll slot in just like that. Same thing with this side. You can just kind of slot it in just like that. And, fix this up real quick. And, like magic, I'm going to move him all the way back. There we have Fans Toys FT-32A Gehry in his leg mode. And there is Gehry in his leg mode. And yeah, it's a big, beefy leg mode. In fact, this thing is taking up the entirety of the camera vertically, as you can see. I have the camera 6 inches back from the table. That's how tall this guy is. Let's get a quick scale measurement, and you can see he is just shy of about 11.5 inches to the top of the leg. We'll get a quick look, and again, it's nothing right home about. It's pretty much scrapper in his leg mode. You can see he's big and hefty too, by the way. Again, got this big die-cast block right on here. This is really the only use this has, this robot, in my opinion. He got the pretty much this scrapper in his leg mode. He got the chest hanging out back here. He's basically doing a headstand or whatever, but he's got a little bit of help this time. Big and beefy. Now, I assume that, you know, when their Devastator comes out, this is pretty much most of the leg right here. In fact, this is the upper leg right here. You can see you got the little bend right there. So I assume that, you know, when their long haul comes out, or whoever's bringing the rest of the combiner components, this is pretty much where the the pelvic area is going to sit. You'll have your thigh joints all right up here. That's my assumption anyway. I am by no means a Fans Toys expert. We'll move him back with a quick comparison with the running competitor, and we'll just see. You can see he towers over Mr. Shovel in his leg mode again. And this was the running champion in terms of Devastators, or of the Masterpiece scale, for the longest time. And you can see that right now, Mr. Gehry just towers over him. So it'll be interesting to see how the combined mode for the final combined form ends up between these two. And yeah, that's pretty much it for his leg mode. Let's get on to the vehicle mode. All right, it is time to get him transformed up into his leg mode. So first, what we're gonna do is we're just kind of move this out. That's gonna unlock right down here. Same thing for the other side. Just kind of move these on this hinges right here and just kind of unlock down here. And then what we want to do is just kind of push forward to kind of get this out. So we're just going to kind of push forward, and that'll unlock right up here. And then we can just kind of wiggle everything out, just kind of pull this out. We can set this off to the side for now. Next, what we want to do is we're going to start with the legs. So first off, let's undo the legs, and I'm going to adjust the camera real quick, get this guy pointing down so we can get that unsituated. And what we're going to do is we're going to open up this panel right here. Just open that up, and then we're going to open up everything just like this, and we're going to kind of rotate the leg out just like this. So kind of just bring it all the way up. Make sure this is all the way out. Bring the leg out as far as it'll go, and just rotate everything up just like that. Leave that out just like that. It's going to be the same thing on the other side. We're going to leave the leg just like this for now, and I'm going to be right back. All right, so now we got him looking all discombobulated for a while. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take this panel right here, just kind of move it up, unplug it from here, and just kind of get this out of the way back, just like this. Just pull up, it rides on that rail right there. We're going to unplug this, and then you want to untab the canopy, just kind of pull back on it, kind of pull it out from the side, and just pull it all the way back like that, and pull this up. We're going to bring out these wheels for good now, and you're going to see they rotate on this panel right here. The waist might swivel just a bit. You want to keep it as straight as possible. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this on this hinge right here. And how this is going to go is you have this tab right up front here. It's going to go into a slot right here. And then the wheels have these two tabs right up here, and they're going to go into 2 slots right in there. Now, ideally, what you want to do is you're just going to bring this back, and you're going to push forward as you're pushing in, and these should both go in at the same time, just like that. And you can see it locks in just like that. Same thing for the other side. Let's just bring this wheel out just like this. Just bring it out forward, make sure you clear it. It's not, doesn't move smoothest, but these are heavy duty steel, so they should be just fine. Bring it out, you got plenty of wiggle room, and you're just gonna bring it in, and you're gonna push forward and lock in, and these will lock in solid like that. Next, you're gonna close this canopy up just like this and bring this all the way up. And now we can start working on the legs again. So what we're gonna do is we're going to rotate this up. We're gonna bring the wheel back around to this hinge right here. And you got those 2 tabs that are gonna go right back into here. Get that situated, and that'll lock in just like that. We can leave the foot alone, and then what we want to do is we can start rotating the leg back up and over, same as before. You want to make sure that the knee is straight. Want to make sure the hips are straight, and then we could open this panel up. And what we want to do next is we're going to take this panel right here. We're going to unfold it on this hinge, bring this up just like this, and we're going to kind of get it situated so it's nice and cohesive right here. So now when we bring this in, it's going to tab in right up over here. You can see it just tabs in just like that, and you can bring up if the bumper doesn't do it right, you just rotate it up on this hinge right here. And now you got this panel right here that closes all these tabs and slots, and that is one side of the rear end all done. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'll do that off camera. So now what we're going to do is we can recombine the legs just the same way as we did when we were going in combine mode. They're pretty much just snap in the exact same way, so now that they have wheels attached to them and all this good stuff. Then what we can do next is we're going to bring this canopy back, and we can kind of bring this piece out of the way just here for now. And what we can do is we can start dismantling the front shovel. We'll start untabbing the hands and whatnot, and just kind of curve around, just take the pegs out of the hand. Same thing for the other arm, just kind of want to get them unpegged. They give you an awful lot of hinges to work with, and there we go for that. And then we can kind of rotate the arm out like this, just kind of leave the arms out the side, give ourselves some room to work. Same thing for the other side. And what we want to do next is we want to bring this entire panel up just like this, and we're going to bring this entire assembly back. You got to untab it from down here and just bring this entire assembly. And what you're doing is you want to rotate the shovel back around on these two hinges right here, just kind of rotate that back in. And next up, we can close this back up yet again, leave this out of our way for now, and then we could adjust these two hinges up front right here, bring those inside, and just leave the shovel just like that. And the shovel's pretty much already ready to go, and we'll work on the arms next. So now we're going to work on the arms, and what you want to make sure first is you want to make sure that this little lever here is up just like this with these two pegs outward, and you want to kind of keep this out of your way because we're going to be rotating back into here, and this will kind of be in our way. So just make sure this is pulled out as far as it'll go and out like this. So what we're going to do first is we're going to unlock at the wrist by bringing that switch in just like that. That will enable us to pull back on the forearm, and then you want to kind of pull down on the forearm. It's kind of a tight connection, and just bring it down all the way like this. Kind of bring it back down so it's sitting nice and cohesive like that. Then what we want to do is you want to rotate down all the way at the biceps. So you have these two screw covers facing up like this. Now what we're going to do is you want to rotate in at the shoulder, and we're going to be rotating this back, right back into its home for a combined mode. Now, the thing we're going to do next is we're going to kind of activate the elbow joint, because what's going to happen is this piece has to fit right in down to this cavity right down here. And the instructions that they do in the Fans Toys video, they kind of have you do it after this point. I think it's a bit harder when it's already in here, so I kind of do it beforehand. And I want to make sure that it's almost at a complete 90. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this back in here again, just kind of bring this up and out of the way. Might get caught up on some of the joints. Just bring this over. Rotate it in just like that. And just kind of lock it into that cavity and lock it in just like that. And that's how that will sit. And it's good. And the next thing we can do right here is you have a tab right here. You can see you have a tab right here. You got a little slot right here, and they just have corresponding tabs and slots. You're going to kind of tab this into the back end. And that is pretty much it on that side. I'm going to do this other side off camera. I'll be right back. And the final touch-up steps, we're just going to bring this down on this hinge and just kind of situate it just like this. And we're going to bring up the canopy on this base hinge right here. Just make sure the rest of the extra hinge is as straight as it can go. It'll kind of just lightly snap into place just like that. And like magic, there we have Fans Toys Gehry, Mr. Scrapper, leader of the Constructicons, in his front end loader mode. And let's get a good look at the alt mode, and I don't think anybody was surprised by this. This is basically the mode that Fans Toys just kind of let go on. Now, in Fans Toys' defense, I think they kind of were trying to go for the G1 toy route, and you can see, you know, the arms are basically where they should be. The arms are always attached to the front wheels. The legs basically fold in on themselves. The legs actually, the back end does have a little bit of detail. You got some kind of grill detail back here. It does look very nice. It kind of got a little caution siren, which does look very good. It is the classic classic green all over. The tires do have that kind of bulky off-road feel, and yeah, granted, I don't think for a construction vehicle they'd have wheels this shiny, but whatever's clever. It does roll incredibly smoothly, by the way. I mean, it's beautiful. The front end, they obviously just said screw it, so it is what it is, but at least they didn't try to overcomplicate it by adding any unnecessary shelling or any transformation like that, or X-Transbots. Then you see no cockpit to speak of. I guess they tried to pass this off as a console, and I'm not buying it. And you do got some kind of conduit detail right here for the back of the heel. So it is what it is. Overall, I mean, it's decent. It's passable, I think. As far as articulation goes, you can, of course, move the canopy to and fro on this bottom hinge right here. You can also move it on this hinge right here. And, of course, you can move the front bucket. You do got the base hinges right up here. You can move that, and you can move it at the two secondary hinges right up here near the bucket. These sometimes fail to move in unison, but they are pretty liberal as far as getting them righted in the correct direction. So overall, as far as storage in this mode, he does have storage for the gun. So the gun, you notice, has this little slot right on the bottom, and if you lift him up, you got two tabs on the bottom of the vehicle. You just tab that right in. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There we go. Tab that right on. It does tab in quite firmly, and check this out. It kind of looks like a little exhaust port. If you know anything about how I like my weapon storage, out of sight, out of mind, and if anything, kind of help adding detail to the vehicle mode, this is it. Bang on for Fans Toys. Again, you got the little barrel, the little handle looks like kind of a step here, but then you got the exhaust. I think that's quite cool. And of course, this is the weird one. There is a spot to store this monstrosity, so you're gonna bring this down, and then you can flip this over, and you just kind of want to adjust this and kind of get this looking just like that. And you got these two ports right here. They're going to go right on the little caution light right here. You want to bring forward the console, bring forward the canopy, and you're just going to, you may have to adjust this, but you're just going to plug this into here and plug that onto there, just like that. And bring that back, bring that down, and yeah. Come on, guys. What? Seriously? Oh, knock the gun off. Yeah, again, this is not in combined mode. This is going right back into the box. And that's pretty much it for the accessories. Oh, real quick, before we move on, you can actually give the shovel a different look. So what we're going to do here is you can actually bring these back just like this, kind of fold them all the way back. This actually is not a fan mode. It actually is in the instructions. You can open this up, and that'll untap from here, and just push these right back in, and these two ports, you can just fold them right in like this. Oh. And just kind of bring this down in on itself. And you can see it's kind of got the half bucket look. And I kind of like that. I think it looks pretty good. I always like the teeth right here. I mean, you could have the teeth like this no matter what bucket you go with. But of course, I do definitely like the toothed look up here a bit more than the standard look. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get this off here and do some comparisons real quick. We're only going to do a couple. So we're going to bring in, of course, our typical comparison. We'll bring in Mr. Streaks. You can see how he looks. And I think I kind of like this scale. I think it looks really good. Again, he's a big, heavy-duty front-end loader, and Streak is just a typical car. So this, I'm quite frankly happy with this. I think this is as good as it's going to get as far as Transformers toys go. And, of course, we will bring in, let's get him out of the way, with his arch nemesis, the reigning champion of Devastators, Mr. Shovel. So you can see how they look, and we'll kind of get a side look. And you can see Shovel definitely put a little bit more effort into the front end loader mode. But overall, again, they kind of rival each other in size in this mode. And yeah, get them from the side. We'll get them from the back real quick, just so you can see how everything looks. And that is pretty much going to be it for our comparisons and for vehicle mode. And let's sum it up for the Fans Toys FT-32A Gehry. Fans Toys' first installment into the great unknown that is the new Devastator Wars. And I honestly think it's a good one. I had lukewarm, if you heard me doing the unboxing especially, I had lukewarm feelings going into this. I was not sure how I would feel about this guy just based on the initial product shots. And I'm happy to say that I am blown away. In fact, this kind of messes up my mentality mentality. My mentality was always to go with Fans Toys for the combiner and to go with Ocular Max as the individual bots, and I kind of think the Fans Toys makes a stout case for itself in the individual modes. First off, this bot is beefy. He's big as heck. I know a lot of people have issues with his scaling with other bots. Screw it. I say make him all this big. He looks awesome. He's a phenomenal toy. The added articulation that I didn't know was coming was a nice touch. Love the paint, love the build as usual, and just tons of ways to pose this guy. You get a big shovel, small shovel, you can change the half bucket, you get the full bucket. Just mwah, chef's kiss, beautiful transformation, fun, enjoyable, even if the alternate mode is probably the weakest link of the figure. And for once, Fans Toys wins on accessories. Seriously, the trumpet is beautiful. He looks absolutely stunning with it, and I can't wait to get a photo of these guys all together with the little trumpets singing Starscream's praises. Again, hats off to Fans Toys for that. So yeah, hands down, I do give this a recommend. Yes, I know it is a hair on the expensive side as far as Devastator entries go, but again, if you can afford this guy, hands down, he gets a full-on recommend for me. I absolutely love mine. I cannot wait to see what else they come out with for this set. And that being said, this is going to conclude this review. You guys know what to do at this point. If you found this review fun and informative, let me know by hitting that like button down below. I greatly appreciate it. It does help me out. Also, if you are a fan of Transformers reviews, both official and third-party alike, and with some mainline stuff mixed in there too, consider subscribing to my channel. I do Transformers reviews quite regularly. Got quite a few new stuff coming up over the next couple weeks here, so I hope you'll join me for that. Thank you so much to the 650-ish, those of you that are. I greatly appreciate it. It does help me out. And I am going to close right here. I have been FT Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my Fans Toys playlist, link below. Thank you for making me a part of your collecting journey. Good night.